So November 2018, question number 4. November 2018, question 4. So part A says MWL Limited has in the past produced just one fairly successful product. However, a new version of this product has recently been launched. In the meantime, development works continue with the aim of adding a related product to the portfolio of products. Given below are some details of activities carried out during the month of October 2022. So we have the units produced, production cost, sales revenue, hours worked, and the development cost. Now you are told to compute the performance indicators that could be used for each of the 4 perspectives on the balanced scorecard. So that question is on a balanced scorecard. Part A is on what we call balanced scorecard. Balanced scorecard. And you know that balanced scorecard has 4 main perspectives. So the first one that we can be able to judge in this question is customer perspective. Customer perspective, the one that looks at issues to do with customers. So customer perspective. Customer perspective. So what we can be able to get from this information that has been provided, customers will want to know something like the new products, the varieties. So we can get percentage of sales by new products. So percentage of sales, percentage of sales of new products, and what you shall be able to get where there is the sales. You can see the new product has an amount of 125 in terms of thousands, while the old product has what? 550. Can you see that? 550. So that is something that can make the customers happy, as in you are giving them a variety, you are giving them a choice, something new. So tell me what percentage that is. 18.52%. So that's a good indicator as far as the customers are concerned. The second perspective that we can touch is what we call internal business. Internal business perspective. Internal business perspective. Internal business perspective. This one has to do with the efficiency of how we are doing. What is it that we are doing? So one of the things that you could check there is productivity per hour. Productivity per hour. Could compute productivity per hour. And in the productivity per hour, we can start with the existing product. And what we need to do that is to know how many units we produce. The existing we produced 25,000 and we used 5,000 hours. So it is 25 divided by 5. So that gives us what? It is 5 units per hour. Eh? 5 units per hour. 5 units per hour. Then for the new product, you argue the same way. For the new product, you also argue the same way. You can see we produced 5,000 after using 1250. So it is 5,000 after using 1250. So those are how many units? 4 units per hour. 4 units per hour. So that tells you that the new product is not as productive as the first one. Eh? Because you can see within 1 hour for the existing, we are able to do 5 units. But for the new product, we are taking longer, such that within 1 hour, we can only make 4 units. The next one that we could talk about is the financial perspective. Number 3, financial perspective. This is where we look at our finances or issues to do with money. And one of the things that we may want to check is the cost per unit, or the cost per the cost per unit. So if we start with the existing, you can see we have a production cost of a whole 375,000, and the base is for 25,000. $25,050. 15. So that is 15 shillings. 15 shillings. And for the new, the production cost is 70,000, and the units are 5,000. Eh? 70,000. And the units are 5,000. 14 shillings. So again, what you can see there is that it is cheaper to make the new product, because the existing is costing us 15, but the new one is coming in at a cost of 14. So in terms of finances, we could start doing better. We could also get gross profit ratio. Gross profit ratio. Gross profit ratio. And when we start with the existing, you can see the revenue is 550. And the variable cost is 375. You divide by 550 times 100. You divide by 550 times 100. Is the one that 1.82%. That 1.82%. Then for the new one, the revenue is 125 and the cost is 70. You divide by 125 times 100, 44%. So you can see, just like we realized that this one was cheaper to produce, the new one, even in the profit, it is reflecting in a similar way that we are making a higher margin, 44%, while the other one is making that one. Yeah. The last item is number 4, which we call learning and development. Learning and development perspective. Learning and development perspective. Some people will call it innovation or growth. There are many words that can be used. We could also call it innovation, we could also call it growth, and so on. So what we could see or we could get here is development costs as a percentage of sales. As a percentage of sales. The development cost is a percentage of sales. We want to see how much do they spend on development costs vis-a-vis their sales. So looking at the question, you can see that they spent 47,000, and this was in regard to 550 plus 125. $6.96. So you can see that's a very small percent. Normally it is recommended around 12%. 12% of your revenue should go to research, so that you are always ahead of your competitors. You're able to discover new things. You're able to discover new ways of doing things. But now for this one, you can see they are below, right? So those are the 4 perspectives that we can talk about as far as the balanced scorecard is concerned. So we go to part B now. Part B says AZK Limited, a manufacturing company, is planning to launch a new product model whose life cycle is 3 years. The following estimated data has been provided. So we are given all that data. And now we are told that the marketing director believes that the customers could only pay shillings 120 per unit, but the finance director believes this will not cover all the projected costs throughout the product's life cycle. So you are told to evaluate the life cycle cost per unit, and then you comment on the target price by the marketing director and suggest ways of reducing any cost gap. Suggest ways of reducing any cost gap. So that question is on what we call life cycle costing. So life cycle costing statements. We have details. So we have 1st of January 2018. We have that 1st of December 2018. We have that 1st of December 2019. We have 1st of December 2020.
moto na anjera moja. Nilikuwa nampikia baba Mar, sasa ameamka hata before.
So we are through it. So the first cost is research costs. Research costs. So research cost is in the first period, 850, 400. The second period, we have 200,000. The second period, we have 200,000. Then we come to production costs. Production costs, we start with variable. We start with variable. So variable In the first period, we don't have, but the second period, you can see we have 100. Yeah? So that 100 multiplied by the units which are down there, 20,000. So 100 multiplied by 20,000 is what? 2 million. It's 2 million. Then for the third period, 80 times 20,000, 1.6 million. And the last period, 90 times 20 is what? 1.8 million. All right. Then we go to the fixed. The fixed amount is 500,000. 500,000 and 500,000. Then we come to marketing costs. Marketing costs. Marketing costs, we have variable. Variable is 12. So 12 times 20 is what? 240,000. 8 times 20. 60. 160,000. 10 times 200, or another 20, the answer is 200. Eh? Then we bring the fixed. The fixed is 200, the first period. 150,000 and 100,000. Next is distribution costs. Distribution costs. Distribution costs is just fixed. It's just fixed, 120,000. 120,000. 120,000. There is disposal costs. Disposal costs. Disposal cost is 300,000. 300,000. And I think that is all. So we now get the total costs. So for this one, it is 850, 400. That's 260, 3,260,000. $25, 2,530,000. $3,020,000. Then we bring present value factors. Present value factor. Present value factor. So the present value factors, we are given 1 here, followed by 0.89, followed by 0.80, followed by 0.71. Then you get the present costs. The present costs. This one is 850, 400. The next one you are getting 2901. 2901, 400. The next one is 2024. 2024,000 and 2144. 200. So actual unit costs will now be 850, 400 plus 2901, 400 plus 2024,000 plus 2144, 200. Now all these you divide by the number of units. The number of units we have been given 20,000, another 20,000, and another 20,000. One, that's two. One, that's two. So the cost gap, So the cost gap is 132 minus, these guys are talking of what? 120, yeah? So there is a cost gap of 12 shillings. Is a cost gap of 12 shillings. Okay. So with that now, you are told to comment on the target price by the marketing director and suggest ways of reducing the cost. So that one I told you there are many ways of looking at it, or there are many things that you could do. One of the things is you use cheaper materials. Use cheaper materials. You use cheaper materials. Number two is you use raw grade labor. Raw grade or cheap labor. Raw grade labor. You reduce marketing and distribution costs. Marketing and distribution costs. Yeah, those are some of the things you can do to ensure that your business is able to remain. The next question on the line is May 2017, question 2B. So the whole of it. May 2017, question 2. So the first part is asking, evaluate 3 benefits that might accrue to an organization that adopts EMA, environmental management accounting. The benefits of EMA, some benefits of adopting EMA. The same is answered. B is in the notes. Are you correct? So number 1 is greater awareness. Greater awareness of the impact of environment-related activities. Greater impact of the environment-related activities on the business. Related activities on the business. Activities on the business. So if you are practicing IMA, you are able to be much aware of how does the environment impact on your business. And obviously, when you know, you are able to respond appropriately, and that is good. Number 2 is elimination of wrong pricing policies. When you are aware of the impact, you are able to do the right pricing policies. You're able to charge people appropriately because you are doing IMA. And number 3, enhanced corporate reputation. So your company will be rated well. Who will talk of you in good terms. Then you are able to avoidance of compliance costs. As in, you not keep on being arrested, you not keep on being fined, you not keep on being suspended, because you are aware of what should be done and you are doing it. What should be done and you are doing it. So part B of the question says, Jabo Limited is a multi-product firm. The company intends to launch a new product branded ZP in the coming months. Production will be in batches of 1,000 units throughout the life of the product. It is expected to achieve a 90% running curve, but the running would cease after the 64th batch. Other relevant data of the product is as follows. So we are given all that. Now you are told to get the expected profit to be earned from the product over its lifetime. So that question is running curves and life cycle costing. It's on running curve and life cycle costing. Now, when there is running curve, I have always told you the first thing is to know whether you're using the total or the average. So this one is total. So using running curve, total method, using running curve, total method, we say y is equals to ax raised power b plus 1. Y is equals to ax b plus 1. Now, as usual, you will begin by identifying the components of that formula. And the first is b, and b we know is given as the log of r. You divide by the log of 2. So in the question, we are already given that the running curve is 90%. It's 90%. You divide by the log of 2, and the examiner was kind enough to give us the answer as minus 0.152. But if you are not given, that is how you go about getting it. Then from there, you proceed and say B plus 1 is minus 0.152 plus 1, and this must be 0.848. 0.848. The next thing is to know the X, how many units are involved. In our case, throughout the lifetime, we have 256,000 units. And what you can see here is that we are talking in terms of batches. We are talking in terms of batches. So we have 256 batches because a batch is 1,000 units. So we are talking of 256 batches. We are talking of 256 batches. The next thing is A. A is the time that is taken for the very first. But now in this question, they are not talking of the time, but they are talking of the labor cost. So whatever they are using, borite weight is for the first. Borite is the first. Does not necessarily have to be the time. And we are told total direct labor for the first batch is 52,500. So this is shillings 52,500. Then you can see there is the presence of what we are calling the steady state, because we are told running will cease after 64th. Running will cease after 64th. So that tells you our total time Y will be broken into two. It will be Y for the first 64 plus the next 256 minus 64. So you look at it that way. So now that there is the presence of a steady state, it's an interval scenario, then you'll have to first of all get the time for the 64th. So Y for the 64th will be Y for the first 64 minus Y for the first 63. Y for the first 64 minus Y for the first 63. So this one will proceed to become 52,500 times 64 raised to power 0.848 minus 52,500 times 63 raised to power 0.848. I'd like you to give me the answer separately because we require them. They are below. $17,856,664.73. $17,61. 976.41. 0.32. Good. So y for the 256. Y for the 256 now. As we had said here, the first 64, you're equal to 1,785,664.73. Plus, now this is again after 64, then each one will be taking this. There will be no running anymore. In other words, there will be no reduction in time. So the time will be steady, or it will be premium. So sasa utasema ni 23,688.32 times, give me this difference, 256 minus 64, 192. 192. Six, 3, 33, 822.17. So that is the labor cost. So with that, now you can come and comfortably prepare the life cycle income statement. Life cycle income statement for 256,000 units. The life cycle income statement for 256,000 units. So we know so well, the first thing to begin is revenue. So revenue, you can see one unit is being sold at 123. And we have 256,000 units. That's 1,488,000. Eh? That's 1,488,000. Then you less, the first one is direct materials cost. Direct materials cost. Direct material costs. You can see it is also given per unit, which is 36. So you take that 6 multiplied by 256,000, 9,216,000. The next one is direct labor costs. Direct labor costs. Direct labor cost is what already we have computed here, which is 6,333,822.17. Yes, Adam. You can see the figure. Higher. The next one is variable overhead. Variable overhead costs. Variable overhead costs. It is 24. So it is 24 times 2, 56,000. 6,144,000. Good. Then we have the fixed costs. Fixed cost is 3,875,000. 3,875,000. So based on that, we should be able to report our net profits. $5,919,177.83. So that is the net profit that we're supposed to earn. Now from there, so we are okay. It has now been established that the running effect will continue for all the 256 batches that will be produced. So that means there will be no steady state. Yeah. You are therefore required to get the running curve required to achieve a lifetime product profit of 10 million, assuming that a constant running rate applies throughout. So that means we must now move these profits. And the only thing that will change is these labor costs. Is these labor costs. How do we put it? So, in absence of steady state, in absence of steady states, increase in profits, increase in profits, we want the profit now to be 10 million. But right now we have 5,919,177.83. So the profit must move from this 5 to 10. $4,008,822.17. So that is the increase in profits. Now, all these other things, they will not be affected. As I said, the only casualty is this labor cost. So if we want profits to go up, then cost must come down. So decrease in labor costs. decrease in labor costs. We will have currently labor cost is 6,333,822.17. You reduce by 48, 822.17. $22,53,000. Meaning, you see how we arrived at this one here. We arrived at it because of the steep stage, tukasema hivi, tukakuja hivi, tukajipata hapa. But if there was no steep state, you would just substitute in this formula straight, because the first unit would be part of the 256. So we would come here and say 52,500 times 256 raised to power b plus 1 should be equal to 2,253,000. So now, why I have put this B here is because B is a function of R. So now na R. Na R ndio tunatafuta. Ndio tujue hii B will be what. So with that, we now start solving. And on solving, we will say 256 raised power b plus 1 is 22,53,000, which is divided by 52,500. So 256 b plus 1, give me this. If it has decimals, we can even use 5. Huh? 429. Yeah. Otherwise, it's advisable you go without the decimals, because when you bring decimals, it creates errors. But with as many, we will not be far away. Yes, Christine. So now we introduce logarithms. We will say b plus 1. B plus 1 log of 256 is the same thing as log of 42.91429. When you introduce logarithms. And proceeding on, we are left with b plus 1 being equal to the logarithm of 42.91429, which is divided by the logarithm of 256. So b plus 1 0.678, and therefore B remains as 0.678 minus 1. negative 0.322. That is the value of B. But we are looking for R. Now, we know that B is the log of R. You divide by the log of 2. B is the logarithm of R. You divide by the log of 2. That tells you that B logarithm of 2 is the same thing as the logarithm of R. It's the same thing as logarithm of R. If you want to change or to be left with R, if you put everything under the antilog, if you say antilog, to brackets of log of R being equal to B log of 2, this will open up as R on its own antilog of B log of 2. You put everything the antilog, you'll be left with R antilogarithm of so you proceed and tell me this is the antilog of B, which I have known is 0.322 logarithm of 2. So give me the answer there. Yes, Christine saying R is 0.8. So if you are struggling with it, once you are able to get it, it is the reverse. Once you get it minus 3.22 log of R, then you press shift, then you press log. Answer equals. Shift, log, answer equals. Nasema ukishapata hii, nasema shift, then you press log, then you press answer, and then you press equals. And that will give you 0.8, which is 80%. So we are good there. Okay. The next question is May 2012, question 2C. May 2012, question 2C. Maridad Limited sells a wide range of high quality fashion bracelets. The manufacturer requires orders in advance. And once a bracelet has been made, it is not possible to place a repeat order. Further, it is not possible for delivery to be spread over the fashion season. When a customer places orders for a bracelet from Maridad Limited, fitting is done and any alterations or adjustments are made. And the bracelet is corrected a day or so later. The pattern of past sales of a comparable bracelet shows the following probability distribution. We have the number of bracelets, the probability. Additional information is if the company runs out of stock, then not only is the profit not earned, but the profit of shillings 35 per bracelet that is derived from other accessories that customers buy is also lost. Should the company of a purchase, then it is expected that it will be able to dispose of the surplus bracelets at shillings 80 each. The purchase price and selling price per bracelet is shillings 130 and 210 respectively. The mean carrying cost per bracelet is 8. You are required to determine the number of bracelets that Maridad Limited should order so as to maximize expected profit. Okay, so in that case, that question is part of what we call the newsboy problem. Newsboy problem. Newsboy problem. In its newsboy problem, we said you get C1 as C plus CH minus V. C plus CH minus V. Now C is the cost at which you buy the bracelets. And the bracelet, according to information 3, is obtained at a cost of 130. CH is the holding costs. According to information 4, it is 8 shillings. And V is the salvage value, the money you get for selling what remains. And according to information 2, that is 8 shillings. That is 8 shillings. 58. Then you come and get C2. So C2 is given as selling price minus holding costs, which is average, minus the purchase costs plus CP. So one bracelet, we are selling it at 210. The holding cost is 8. You divide by 2 minus the purchase cost is 130 plus the cost that you lose because of other items, and that is according to information 1, 35 shillings. 35 shillings. 35 shillings. 111. So we know you only order as long as P is greater than or equal to C1 out of C1 plus C2. So this is greater than or equal to 58 divided by 58 plus 111. $0.34. So we have demand in units. Demand in units. So here we have probability where we have specific, then we get something called more than cumulative. More than cumulative. More than cumulative. More than cumulative. So we have 1650, 1800, 1950, 2100. 0.3, 0.4, 0.2, and 0.1. So I told you this is done bottom up. Bottom up. So from here you say 0.1. You add this, you get 0.3. You add this, you get 0.7. You add this, and you get 1. That is how the more than is done. You do the reverse, it's called less than. After that, you simply check the probabilities which are greater than or equal to this. So this one is greater than, This one is also greater than, but this one is not. So that tells you the maximum order size is this one. So optimal order size. Optimal order size is 1,800 units. So the optimal order size is 8,000. The next one that I want to add on is December 2014, question 4A. It's a very simple one. December 2014, question 4A. So if you are there, the question says that GB Limited stocks and sells a product branded PZN. The following information relates to PZN. Cost per unit, insurance which is fixed per unit of average, taxes, additional information. The company's average sales amount to 15,000 units per year. The processing cost amount to shillings 100 per order. The purchasing department pays annual fixed salaries of 6 million plus 500 per order. The required return on investment is equivalent to 15% on the purchase cost. The company pays 900 for offloading of each delivery. Required is economic order quantity for the company. So in getting economic order quantity, we know the formula EOQ is 2RS, you divide by H. 2RS, you divide by H, then you get the square root. So you need to identify the components of that formula. The first one is R. R, we know it is the annual demand. And according to information 1, we are told it is 15,000 units. It's 15,000. S, we know it is the fixed or the incremental cost per order. And this one, we are going to get it from information 2. There is a 100 per order. We are also going to get it from information 3. In information 3, there is a fixed salaries of 6 million and the 500 of per order. So the 6 million will be rejected, though it is called fixed, because it does not increase per order. So S is those fixed costs, but they only arise when you make an order. They only arise when you make an order. So the 6 million is not such. The next, we will find it in information 5. You can see there is the offloading costs. So plus 900. So that gives you 1,500. That gives you 1,500. The next one is H, the holding costs. Now, holding costs, we find it in information 4, where we are told it is 15% of purchase cost. So it is 15% of purchase costs. And purchase cost, according to information 4A, we have 900. Well, according to the data up there. Then you can see there is the insurance. Insurance is part of holding costs, but we only recognize the per unit. That is the 17. That is the one we shall recognize. There is also the taxes, because they are charged on what is in the store. That is also part of inventory cost, 20. $72. 172. So that tells you your EOQ will be then 2 times 15,000 times 1,500. You divide by 172. You get the square root of that. You get 511.49, and this should be taken as 512. The next question is November. I should start with May. May 2016. Question 3B. May 2016. May 2016, question 3B. May 2016, question 3B. Which says that James McCurry prides himself as the largest sausage supplier in the city. Small, freshly baked sausages are the specialty of his shop. He has sought help in determining the number of sausages he should make each day so as to maximize his long-run profitability. From an analysis of past demand, he estimates the demand for sausages as follows. We are given that. Additional information is the selling price per packet amount to 90. The cost per packet includes handling and transport amount to 65. Sausages that are not sold at the end of the day are sold as day-old merchandise the following day at shillings 30 per packet. Then, using continuous analysis of probability distribution of demand, advise on the optimal production quantity in packets for the sausages. That question is on what we call marginal analysis. Marginal analysis is on what we call marginal analysis. At marginal analysis, we say you start with marginal profit. Marginal profit. Now, one sausage, this guy is selling at 90, having bought it at 65. Having bought it at 65. So that gives him a profit of what? 25 shillings. Marginal loss is that any sausage not sold that day, so the following day or at the end of the day at that bob, having bought it at 65, so he goes home crying a loss of what? 35. So we say that you should only order as long as P is greater than or equal to ML divided by ML FB. So this is going to be 35. You divide by 35 plus 25. .58. 0.58. So now the analysis table is drawn. We have daily demand. Daily demand. Daily demand in units. Daily demand in units. Then we have probability. Probabilities, we have specific. We have specific. Then we have more than cumulative. More than cumulative. More than cumulative. So we have 1800, 2000, 200, 24, 26, 28, and 3,000 with 0.05, 0.10, 2, 0.10, so again, we do bottom up, 0.05, 0.15, 0.35, 0.65, 85, 95, and 1. So I have said what you simply do is checking which probabilities are greater than or equal to the one you have here. So this one is greater than, hata hii ni kubwa, hata hii. All those are bigger than this or equal to. So that means the maximum you can order is this. So optimal order size is 2,400 units. 2,400 units. So I can see time is not on my side, and there are two more questions. The question of November 2015, question 2B, November 2017, question 5B, so I'll check whether I recorded these questions even in class. I sent you the link. Is that okay? If I did not record, then I can see what to do. Maybe I'll record and send you the link. Because I don't want to promise you an extra class since I'm not really sure of my availability. I might tell you to come and get it. But either way, I'm sure you get them. Yeah. So then we have to call it a day at that juncture and the semester at that juncture. And now I leave you in your own hearts and the hearts of classmates with God. So thank you so much for being our students. We really appreciate. We know there are many other places you could have chosen to go to, but you deliberately chose. Yes, Christine, thank you. You deliberately choose to come to Destiny. Yes, Adam, thank you. So we cannot just take it for granted. We know it's a deliberate choice that you made, and we continue to encourage you to remain with us. Those who have not cleared Sec 6, we have a very strong team there. that is ready for you. Yes, Harrison, thank you. And also continue encouraging as many students you get out there to come. We still have a lot of space, we still have a lot of energy to serve. So even after you clear, you still remain our ambassador, you still remain our alumni. Now, regarding the exams, no one ever feels fully prepared. No one. At any given time, anyone going to an exam, you always feel that I'm not prepared. And it is true, because you cannot know everything. It is only God who knows everything. For us, we know a few things. And it is good you know that you cannot know everything. Even CASTEP does not expect you to know everything. They only expect you to know 50%. If you be able to know 50% of what will be that exam, you will have passed that. So don't disturb yourself so much by trying to know everything. You cannot know everything. Actually, what happens is that there are two possibilities. You know something and there is something you don't know. So it depends on what you want to focus on. Whether you want to focus on the something that you know or on the something that you do not know. But I would urge that you focus more on that which you know. Encourage yourself that you have been in class since the semester began. You have been taught, you have been reading. So you know a lot. Yeah. And when you focus on that, that will build some motivation in you, some courage in you. And when you be going to the exam, you'll be going a courageous person, a person who believes that they know, and a person who believes that they pass. And because we are told as a person thinking, so they are, then it will be that you will pass. But if you focus on the few things you don't know, then again you build a feeling that you do not know, you're likely to fail. And for sure, when you go to the exam, it will only be a confirmation that you don't know. So just focus on what you know. And in that case, I want to suggest also that the questions that we have not done together, because there are many in the past papers, don't touch any of them. Don't touch any question that we have not solved together. Because if you start touching some of those questions, as Jane the other day was saying, when I'm here, the questions appear simple, and when I'm away, they appear very difficult. When you touch them, you will see very difficult things. And you start saying, hey, na hii kikuja, na hii kikuja, na hii kikuja, na sijui. Unaanza kujipea uoga. And again, that will work against you. But when you start revising on the questions that you have done, like now you go across the book, solve this one. When you finally solve it and get the answer, unasikia raha, unaanza kujiambia, kweli najua, kweli hii si gumu venye nilikuwa nafikiria. And that will build your confidence and you go to the exam very, very confident. So this is not the time to go looking for new things, what other people have been told by their teachers there. Those were not your teachers. Your teacher was Kimani. So focus on what Kimani has told you, that is enough. Don't entertain these fellows who keep on bringing difficult questions your way. Mtu anakutime ukiwa umekram mahali pale kwa kona, anakuletea kiswali, anakuuliza na hii unajua. So those people are only disturbing you. So focus on what you already know. Focus on the easy things. The topics that you will don't commit a lot of time on them. Commit more time on what you can easily understand. And that's what I told you about even the theory. Make sure you focus a lot of time on the theory, the simple topics, so that in case the examiner gets a question from there, you'll be able to get all the marks in that. But if you spend a lot of your time on the topics you have not been understanding, I can assure you, most likely you will not understand. And when it will come in the exam, you will still fail. Not because you did not read, but because you never understood. And then the simple ones, they come, you fail because you never read. Yeah. So focus more on what now is easy. Focus on what you know. And again, we also told too much of anything is what? It's poisonous. So don't overread. Don't read as if the world is coming to an end. We still need you around 2022. We need you to cast your vote. And the years beyond, we need you. So the world is not coming to an end because of the exam. Make sure you are eating well. When it's time for breakfast, go take breakfast. When it's time for lunch, take time and eat. Relax. Don't deny yourself lunch. Let's not be called to handle emergencies, and they are not because of sicknesses. Ni njaa. Umekaa pale utaki hata kwenda lunch, at unaanza kusema hiyo masaa ya lunch nilikuwa nimesoma 3 pages. Then we are being called upon to handle emergencies. Na ni njaa tu. So moderate, do everything with moderation. Don't deny yourself sleep. Actually, the day of the exam, you should go to bed early. Myself, when I was a student, I never used to read the last day. The last evening of the exam, I never used to read. You go to bed early, unalala vizuri, unaamuka vizuri, you come to the exam fresh. Hii story ya kusema the last minute can save a man. Me, I believe the other way. The last minute can also destroy a man or a woman. So go to the exam room when you are fresh. When you are fresh, when you are not tired, your memory is better. It's just like this morning, you are understanding more what is happening. Compare yourself in the evening. In the evening, when you be tired, you will not be as good in absorbing what is happening. So when you do all these things, again, you fight, the progress will be good. So may I wish you the very best. We will keep you in our prayers. I think on Friday we'll be having prayer session. So you are welcome to attend the session so that we can pray together. Because after all is done and said, we must depend on God. So there. Yeah. So thank you so much and all the best and happy seasons of celebrations.